There you go.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Good to see you as we're getting healthier and healthier. right? Oh. So I'd like to call this meeting to order, so Heather, roll call, please.
Mr. Dangler's absent. Mr. Viera?
Here.
Mrs. Wittes?
Here.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
And Dr. Vogt?
Here.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Okay, thank you. So just, if we could do this just for a moment, and I know we're all tired and frustrated with having to do this, but unfortunately, our hearts and our prayers are with the families. But in both big situations down in Texas and in Buffalo, you just hear now, and I think we all share the same sentiment, we're tired of our moments of silence. You know, we're tired of still having to deal with this, but I just wanted a moment, just wanted for us to acknowledge that our thoughts and our prayers are with those families, the horrible, horrible events. So with that, let me move on to what our agenda is for the evening. So our usual agenda for our workshop, old business, and then new business and a review of the regular meeting agenda. And for old business, Rose is going to start us off in terms of conversation about Hometown Heroes.
Hi, good evening. I just wanted to bring up Hometown Heroes. It's my understanding the banners, the factory's running a little bit behind on the banners, so we may not have them for Memorial Day, which I was hoping we would. But I also wanted to ask the council, in light of, problems with our webpage and signing up for the banners, if we would like to consider ordering them, given the opportunity for people to order them again, say at the end of September for Veterans Day, and continue keeping these flags up, of course, for the whole year. Just to put it out there in case someone was not able to sign up and get a banner. So I was wondering if anybody would be, if you're all interested in doing that. I haven't talked to Stan about it, but I just think it would be the right thing to do at this time. So, and I think once people see these banners up and they know what they're all about, they may want to have the opportunity to honor someone in their family or a friend. So that's why I wanted to brought up tonight. Just everybody's opinion.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Keep it open.
Okay. So rather than offering it once this year, we'll offer it twice this year.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah, I agree, also with as many ways as we can keep it in front of people and keep it on their minds, so.
So the whole game plan is put up the banner when they come in and keep it up until
The banners are gonna go up for Memorial Day. They're gonna come down sometime in July during the summer months, and then go back up for
Okay.
Veterans Day.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Okay, good.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, anything else for old business or new business? No? Any comments in terms of the review of the regular meeting agenda? And, you know what, I'm just gonna ask, our business administrator, Mr. Jackson, if he would just do a brief summary, of the ordinance being introduced tonight, in terms of the change for the flood, regulations.
Yes, so we have an ordinance for introduction tonight. It's our flood damage prevention ordinance. This is a boilerplate ordinance that's being renewed, being introduced and replacing old flood ordinances in basically every municipality in the state. The NJDEP has circulated this. Our engineers have reviewed it, and they've modified it with specifics for the city of Long Ranch. For example, in some of the items that it addresses are flood area requirements and also the flood maps. If you're familiar with the flood maps in New Jersey, unfortunately I am, because I was a Superstorm Sandy victim, they have what they call panels that identify the different flood zone areas throughout the entire state. They have numbers assigned to those. So this ordinance identifies for the city of Long Branch the flood panel numbers that apply to the city. And they give you basically your elevations and the elevations of the neighborhoods within all of those, your base flood elevations. Also assigns the role of floodplain administrator to the position of the city engineer. That was something we had to do. And we actually did that several meetings ago, if you recall. Also talks about inspections and enforcements and coordinating the information that's required through our building department. When someone applies for a building permit, there's research done to identify whether or not they're in a flood zone, that any construction is compliant with the new flood requirements, and primarily based on elevation of new structures. But it's a 40-page ordinance. It's got definitions. It's soup to nuts when it comes to floods, floodplain management. But this is something that every municipality, and I've seen them in the paper, everybody has to do these. And I believe they had to be done in June.
Correct, every municipality in the state has.
You're
to
attached to it, right?
Everyone.
So those are some of the things that are specific to Long Branch, but the rest of it is really boilerplate for the rest of the municipalities.
Good.
Also, did you want to talk about Cedar Avenue? I have it out. We had that brief discussion.
Okay.
I think it's good for the council to
Yep,
know.
good.
There's a resolution supporting improvements to County Route 25, which is Cedar Avenue, between Norwood Avenue and Ocean Avenue in the city. And Monmouth County Engineers asked us to pass this resolution of support for their application for funding through the North Jersey Transportation Planning Authority. They're looking for grant funds, and I believe they've got all of their research done. I believe this is for construction, but they want to do an overhaul of Cedar Avenue from Norwood to the ocean. And if you saw in your packet, there are some overheads with a lot of information about what they want to do. And one of the more interesting is they want to introduce a road diet. They're not cutting back on fats in sweets. What they want to do, and we talked about this, the mayor, you may have been on these meetings, is a road diet is where they slow the traffic down by introducing other elements that will cause a narrowing of the roadway. And in this case, what they'll do is take two lanes on each side of the roadway and reduce them to one by introducing bike lanes and also widened buffers. And another thing that they plan on doing is to eliminate backups within the lane of travel, is to create turning lanes on some of our intersections so that cars can stack safely, so they're not sitting in a lane of traffic. So if you look at those, you'll see it pretty much repeats itself throughout for the different crossing improvements they want to do. High visibility crosswalks, warning signage for all the crosswalks. But the counties, I think they've got a great plan here, and really, that's a treacherous road. And I don't mean it by vibe of accidents. I don't know if that's our problem, but when I go out and try to cross, it's pretty scary out there, trying to get across 4 lanes of traffic. So this will slow traffic down, and if you look on one of the diagrams, it says their goal is to reduce the speed limit from 40 to 25. So this is really about making Cedar Avenue a safer road. So
Is traffic dieting what we used to call traffic calming devices?
well, it's kind of, because some of them, they do the bump outs.
Sure.
But, yeah, now they call it a road diet.
Right.
But they also do reduce the number of lanes.
Correct.
But I know just what you mean,
Yeah.
where you get these bump outs, well, you have one right now.
Sure.
Right? And I hear everybody complain
Yeah.
about
But
the
it slows
consequences.
everybody down.
But it slows people
The
down.
problem with that is you got nowhere for the bikes to go.
Yeah.
But the appearance also on bigger, wider roadways, that appearance of narrowing, even if it doesn't change the flow of traffic, visually and psychologically, it'll slow drivers down.
Are you saying they're gonna put jut outs on Cedar Avenue?
No, what I see on here is they're gonna introduce bike lanes on both sides of the roadway. That'll narrow it, and also a buffer between the bike lane and the travel lane. But I don't see bump outs in here, no.
Yeah, I looked at it, I didn't see either.
No.
Yeah,
I wish they would do that on Ocean Boulevard.
yeah.
Well,
Ocean Boulevard's just as dangerous as.
I think the problem out there is lack of real estate,
Correct.
you know.
It's not wide enough for them to do that.
So that resolution is on your agenda
Yeah.
tonight as well, but that's what that's all
Yeah.
about.
And any talk about Atlantic Avenue at all improvements or no?
No, this was just something they emailed to me, but I was familiar because we had discussions a good year and a half or 2 years ago when they were first discussing making these improvements out there on Cedar.
Thank you.
So that's very encouraging that we'll have bike lanes. But that's getting more and more play, you know, all over So, good, thank you, George. Any other comments on review the regular meeting agenda?
Well, my question was just answered. I was gonna ask about the Cedar Avenue.
Oh, okay.
They were just answered. That was it?
All right, we anticipated that one.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So now I need a motion to close the public portion part of the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to adopt a resolution to go into executive session for the following items: attorney-client privilege, sewer authority, our business administrator, Mr. Jackson, reorganization meeting, our attorney, Mr. Raynone, public safety, business administrator, Mr. Jackson, contract negotiations, beach yoga, business administrator, Mr. Jackson, and personnel code enforcement, again, business administrator, Mr. Jackson.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I think we're ready.